said this before. This is Dr. Mia Lueth, and it is December 3rd, 2025, 4:41 p.m. Eastern Time, New York, USA. And I said before I was going to change this because it's not November, or it's not October or November. We just skip right on there. One day. Anyway, all right. Yeah, see, this is also my home where I live, and so I'm more casual and nonchalant than some other people might be. Yeah, okay. Well, here I want to say this. Okay, right. Like, wait. Okay, earn your smiley face, Winnipeg Jets, guys. What's up? What's going on? What's happening? Yeah, this. I need to remind myself to do this too. Yes, drink more water. Why? Because it lubricates your joints. That's another reason. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh no, you don't get a heart or a star or a smiley face or nothing. You gotta earn one of these suckers. All right. Well, so the lines are out. They look a little different than last game. Neil Pionk is back in. I know Pionky Tonk, somebody on the Winnipeg Jets check-in chatter on Pionky Tonk. So Neil Pionk is back. So Sammy and Pionk are on the same line. Uh, we're just gonna have to. This is a wait and see. I'm optimistic still, but yeah, that's certain. I'm like, no, they're definitely gonna win. They're definitely gonna win. I can see it happening. Let's manifest that win, guys. I did say at one point earlier in the season, like, this is not last year's team. It's not. Everybody needs to get over it now. I know. I gotta keep pushing the point. I know, but it's just true. Okay, I know, but it's just true. Right. Well, so I'll say there's a group of people who think that Chevy should be second guessing everything he did, and I'm going to say, well, no GM has the luxury of doing that. I know there's some who say bring up the young guys, bring up the young guys, and what I'm going to say is, well, if it's 0% chance that the Jets are going to make the playoffs, and I'm anti-jinxing that right now. Yeah, of course, they're going to be, that's, a perfect time to get some younger guys NHL time, and, they can see how they handle it, stuff like that. Some will have to come up on occasion, like Mealy is up right now, Thomas Mealy, because yes, the one who you all been laying back on this whole time. Like, people are trying to say, well, it's got nothing to do with the goalie. I'm like, yes, it does. Because in case you guys didn't notice, they were making some mistakes last season too. And although it's, defensive responsibility first, okay, yeah, there were some issues there. Well, now y'all get to see that. Clear as day. All right. It's true. Go back. Let's all just go back and look at some of those games. Okay? And people say stats don't lie, and I'm like, yes, but they can be misinterpreted by wide margins. And sometimes they can be deceiving. I even wrote an article about that, about goalie stats for sure. Right. It's online. So what I'm gonna say is, people are just clamoring, Chevy, do something, Chevy, fire Chevy, fire Chevy. Why? Oh, because all Chevy's gonna do is get us another geriatric, nursing home. player. I'm like, geez, Christmas Almighty. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it's not that bad, okay? I gotta admit, yeah. I mean, we do look pretty slow, and there are some numbers. I think uh, Connor Radchek put up on his X account. Yeah, okay. Here's the thing, though. All right, I know that in total, the Winnipeg Jets know how to slow teams down. Okay, I know they do. Now, actually executing it, see, there's some things going on. Yes, there's rules. There's certain things going on, and the Jets who are familiar with Scott Arniel and who played the majority of last season and who are still Winnipeg Jets should be very much having their wing over somebody. Okay, they should all have a buddy, right? And there's enough veterans to cover most of those heads. So, like, the whole team needs to play together. Okay, right? One mind, that kind of thing, right? For 60 minutes. We haven't seen that happen, but it is possible. Now, I am not the biggest proponent right now of just, oh yeah, just, kick all them down. One, it, it's it's not it's not that easy. Some of these players, older players, to say, oh yeah, we're sending you down to the Moose. There has to be some things that happen. There's contract things. Okay, maybe sitting one of them. Okay, now, somebody on one of the comments today, was all into sitting Jonathan Taze. Well, okay, but I got to be honest with you. See, like, people who know how Jonathan Taze is, just as a player, okay, he's probably still got some of that Jonathan Taze going on. It's just that he is now relearning Jonathan Taze as a Winnipeg Jet. But he really starts getting going as games go by. Okay, so that was known, and the hope was, he'd be all good to go and just full board Jonathan Taze by the time he got to the playoffs. I don't think it was anticipated that we would have to fight for a playoff spot when Jonathan Taze was brought aboard. But that is the case. So the people who think, well, it's got nothing to do with the goalie, they're not scoring goals, I'm like, yes, it does have something to do with the goalie. Because the goalie, our MVP goalie there, yeah, well, he was making so many saves that are even difficult for well-tenured goalies to make that a lot of you just didn't notice. So we could be a lower scoring team last year. But that is not the case this year. And yes, I am hoping that he comes back almost 100%. I know surgeries, right? You're 99% or 98. Pro athlete, he's got a lot of people working with him, I'm sure. So we'll just say at 98%, let's just say that. He will be back, like, at this point, what is it? Like 2 to 4 weeks. I mean, we're not going to get another goalie. Okay, everybody, just stop. Okay, I know it would be, I'm like, I get it, but that's not going to happen. Just, okay, if you don't want to be disappointed and you don't want to get frustrated with the team, the one thing that's not going to happen is we're not going to get another goalie. The Jets just it's there's no reason to do that because it's just a temporary situation. And the kind of athlete and competitor that Hellebuck is, he's not gonna want to come back on ice until he's 100% sure he's 98%. So, right, that's he's gonna feel that out. So if it takes him, an extra week, even though he's gotten on ice, fine. I mean, better that, right, than you know further injury later on down the road. So there's that. But no, there's not going to be. We have Mealy, we have Divvy down there. If something really happens, okay. So in system, okay, we have goalies, and I know that some people are starting to be like, "Well, Combs is." I'm like, okay, well, Combs, okay, has had some time now to get in that starting goaltender frame of mind. Now, okay. Well, he did kind of get left out to dry. You understand? I'm a goalie, and I got to be honest with you. Okay? Like, even Hellebuck would have had some difficulty because during the Buffalo game, the one thing I noticed looking at it like a goalie would is what the fuck did you just do? Three separate players on the Jets, three of them separate players at certain parts in the game put the puck right square in the middle, and there were no Jets players. So they basically set up Buffalo for success. Okay. Okay, goalies don't like that. Ever. Never. And they're guys who really can't handle those kind of shots because they come in so quick. It is never okay with a goalie. Three separate players with the Jets during that Buffalo game just put the puck right square in the middle, right in front of poor Eric Comrie. Okay. Yes, this is what they did. And it happened several times. And as a goalie, I'm just like, oh, geez, Combs, I'm sorry. Right. Okay, maybe he could have gotten one of those. Okay, maybe Helly could have gotten one of those. All right, maybe, a guy who is not, a backup most of the time these days could have gotten one of those. Okay, but no goalie would have been able to defend himself or net, considering how that team was basically setting Buffalo up for success. Okay, just those of you who don't know anything about goaltending, I will come at you and I will ask you what you know about goaltending. And I don't usually stop or back down. You understand? Like, I understand that position extraordinarily well. And I've been listening and learning and understanding the game. Okay. I know some people. I talk to people. I know the mindset. I know exactly what goalies don't want. And goalies don't want their teammates putting the puck straight in the middle and then leaving it there with no Jets players close enough. Okay, the Buffalo Sabres did a good job of taking advantage of that opportunity. As would I, you understand, as would any NHL player who's not freaking drunk on ice. Okay? Point blank. So I'm still cutting Tom's a break. All right. He does need to elevate a little. But he has had some time getting in that rhythm of being the starting goaltender. And I was glad that he got pulled because, well, that's just enough. Okay. Like, yeah, I was like, all right, just let Mealy learn how to do cleanup. Okay? Uh, so, yeah, that happened. So now we're on to Montreal. And, there's a lot of talk, oh, Montreal's so fast. I'm just like, yes, I know. But the Winnipeg Jets know what to do to slow down teams. Okay? They know how to do it. They know what to do and they know how to do it. It's getting that to happen. There's a lot of stuff they have to consider. Okay? So yes, comms is starting again, which I mean that's good. I mean, some people are like, oh, don't put him back. No. Right, put him back. Put him back in because he's the starting goalie right now, and he needs to pick up a load. He needs to carry a load, and he needs to be a little more solid. So I'm wishing him straight wellness. Maybe be the wall, sir. Yes. Then remember, you might get hung out to dry by your yes players. So right, be extra on alert. Don't assume that your team is going to help you, Mr. Eric Comrie. That is very sad for me to say, but unfortunately, I mean, the Jets kind of deserve that. And Eric Comrie needs to understand, well, in theory, your team should be, but that might not happen. So go in there thinking it's not going to happen. And maybe having that kind of mindset will just keep you on point and all that kind of stuff, just enough to maybe get one that maybe you wouldn't have if you thought your team was supporting you. All right. Now, there are guys who are putting in a lot of effort, but Nyquist has been benched. Sit down, Mr. Nyquist. I agree with that decision. I agree with that decision. Me, at the National Hockey League level, I saw something in the chat like, "Oh, but you don't want to hurt the players' feelings," and I'm like, "What? Sit down and get out of my way. You don't belong talking national hockey. This is the National freaking Hockey League. Okay, if you get hurt feelings at this stage, okay, maybe you shouldn't be playing National Hockey League ice hockey, is what I'm trying to say. No. Suck it up, buttercups. Okay, that's why a coach does that. Like, oh, okay, so you don't want to contribute and blah blah blah, and everybody else is trying and blah. Oh, all right, so you're just gonna like, no, all right, well, have a seat because you're dragging the team down, Mr. Nyquist. I'm not even gonna say that about Shen. He's off. His game's off, but I can't say that about Shen. I mean, he really does need to focus, and he needs to get his head in the game, and he needs to stay focused, and right, keep his head in the game. But Mr. Nyquist, however, right, is a detriment. So sit on down, Mr. Nyquist. That's a good call. All right, now some of the younger guys may be able to come up, but Pionk is back. Okay, Hayden Fleury will be back at some point. There was a change in the front end lineups. When it comes to Jonathan Toews, okay, fine. I'm not going to sit and sing all the praises, okay, but I am going to say I know how Jonathan Toews is. I mean, I watched him from rookie year on up. And if I look at him from a goalie perspective, I got to be honest with you. A lot of times you're not expecting Toews to be the shooter. You understand what I'm saying? Points, yes. So those of you who are looking for shots like he's going to be the goal scoring king of the world, well, you don't understand, is what it is. He does, he's getting the face offs. This is good. The problem is that he wins, 60% of the face-offs for the Jets. And yet, puck possession still goes to the other teams more often than not. Well, that's not on Mr. Taves. That's on the guys who play on ice with him. We end up not getting possession. All right. He gets possession. He wins a face-off. These guys need to be jumped. Get fucking hungry. I don't give a shit what the hell you got to do. Get in there and ruffle some feathers. Sit guys who are, I'm just lollygagging around on a Sunday skate. You want to hurt some players? Get out of my way. Hire me. I'll do it. I don't care if I got a penis or not. Just like, what the hell? You don't want to hurt players' feelings. Excuse me? Yeah, how about we all just get together before the soccer game or the hacky sack or whatever they do before the games, and we, get around a campfire and sing Kumbaya, mother grabbing. Yeah, okay, right. Okay, anybody who's in a national, who's ever there in the Jets, like, okay, if you guys don't want to do it, I'll do it. I'll do it. I don't care. Listen, Nancy's, this is the National Hockey League. Screw your feelings. If you don't have somebody in there like that, I'll do it. Ruffle some feathers. Okay? You understand some of them? Right. That might just piss them off enough to play better. Which button? Like, there's a couple of them on there. Yeah, a couple of them. Like, I know, right? Oh, no, they're going to get mad at you and they're going to think. But I guarantee you, right, they are going to come in hungrier and more engaged. Because it's going to hit the right button. So I don't think sitting Taze is even worthwhile talking about right now. But I got to be honest with you, okay? In another month from now, I might be saying something different. And maybe Jonathan Taze kind of needs to sort of remember, all right, well, I'm not a Blackhawk anymore, so Jet system, maybe I try and elevate now instead of slowly but surely. I mean, maybe he can do it. All right. The fact that he's 37, I mean, that's not exactly geriatric in the National Hockey League. All right. Perfetti is still working, but I think he's trying to get there. Okay, he's trying to get there. So, keep trying to get there. There's just a lot of talk about it, and I'm just going to tell people, all right, well, I got to be honest with you. There is nothing I could do about anything that happened over the summer. Zero control over any of that. So I've known since October, this is not last year's Winnipeg Jets. So I kept trying to tell people, you gotta let it go. This is the Winnipeg Jets of today. Okay? Like, any GM who second guesses himself shouldn't be a GM. So people may be thinking certain ways, and if I were, no, because there's nothing that can be done about it. Nothing. All right? So I keep going with Jets are going to make the playoffs until there's 0% chance. And then I keep watching because I love ice hockey, and these guys have to play ice hockey. Right. But there's a lot of people who are now kind of chiming in. And so Mike McIntyre wrote an article. He talked to Chevy, and he also talked to Adam Lowry. And, Lowry did have a team meeting. That was a good call. Don't wait. Don't wait for it to get so bad that, right. And, I still want the guys to go in confident. You're playing NHL ice hockey, you should, like, do your solid best. I'm very glad that, no actual injuries. Yes. I mean, that's good news. No injuries in Buffalo, no injuries of practice. I know players get injured in practice. I heard he was okay, right? But yeah, of course. I gotta be honest though. If I was at that game, I'd probably boo a little just so they would know. But they're gonna play Montreal. Apparently, Montreal's been having some difficulty too. So I'm going for a win. Let's win this one. Okay, 60 minutes. Everybody engaged. Okay, a little tighter passing. Okay, right. Just I've seen you do it. I've seen you Jets do it. I know they can, despite what team they're playing. So the fact there's a difference between like knowing what to do and playing faster. So in other words, if they drill more, here is the other thing about the Olympics. Now I've already made my thoughts on that clear, and I'm not all for pro hockey players playing in the Olympics, and I said why. And what I say does make sense, okay? But this is another reason. Yes, press schedules, less practice time, less ice time, okay? Some of this stuff you drill in repetitive, okay? So that they start doing it, and then eventually, right, okay, their body catches up with their brains, right? But they're not getting those kind of opportunities as much as they would in a non-Olympic season. So yeah, that's another thing. But I wish Eric Comrie the best. Okay, I think he should. Sad to say, go out on blue paint under the assumption that he's not going to get a lot of support. Then it'll be a big surprise if he does. Okay, but come on. Well, Sammy and Pionk are back together, and they're a good defensive duo. Stanley's been getting involved, which is good. Perfetti's he's still working on it, but he's trying. I mean, it's obvious that he is. Morrissey's been moving around. No, you can't carry the whole thing on your back. It's just not. Can't. Don't even worry about that kind of crap because it's win as a team, lose as a team. The end. All right. So there might be some guys at some point here soon come up from the Moose. All right. There aren't a lot of sellers, and there aren't a lot of people with quality players who are willing to let go of those quality players. Trading is not exactly something that we can do right now. But yeah, Mike McIntyre did write an article, and Chevy said, he's always looking. Well, yeah, I mean, that's smart to do, right? At some point, though, if there's one Canadian ice hockey team who looks like they're going to make it to the playoffs, maybe the other teams, right, before the trade deadline. I don't know, because then it's all of Canada. Right. That's right, United States. See, none of you gave a shit that I was raped and tortured, and you're all fucking with me down here like I'm a piece of trash. So, yeah, maybe I do want to live in Canada, and I don't really care what kind of problems there are. I'm not looking for greener grass. I said that right out loud. So, I let go of the fact. I'm like, we're not looking at the same team. Let go of it. Let go. Let go. Let go of it. You gotta let go of it. I know comparing. Well, this is the point. This is why you gotta let go of it. because Ehlers just isn't here. And maybe the plan seemed like a good plan, but sometimes you got to adjust stuff. This happens to every hockey team. I mean, some of them are too young, right, to have gone through all this thing, but the ones that have been around for a while, right. I mean, the 2000, because basically expansion teams were like the Caps were an expansion team, so was the New Jersey Devils. Right. So I've seen some expansions in my lifetime. Okay. All these teams go through situations like this. I mean, it's not unique to the National Hockey League. It might be unique to Jets 2.0. I get it. But just understand that it's not unique to the National Hockey League for the teams that have been around for a while. This kind of stuff happens. You get the vision, you think this is real, you're building on something, and then, right. I mean, Lowry had to have his hip done, and he might still be building up a little bit. And Helly, it's better to get it done now before it gets worse. And, arthroscopic is, you can heal more quickly. So we just got to try and support Collins and Mealy. Okay? There's going to be no other goalie pulled in here. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, everybody. Yeah, Eric Connery and Thomas Mealy need to be put in like a bubble of safety. You understand? Like, yeah, they're not allowed to touch hot objects or eat food. You could burn it, so they're not allowed to get, like, they have to wear safety goggles for their eyes and put like oven mitts on their hands and walk around. You understand? Right? Like, everybody do everything for them. Like, don't let them get into it. Right? I know. I'm like, yep. Like, put them in a steel cage car, so even if you get an accident, like, they'll still be like padded. They'll still be okay. Right. I mean, I still think that some of them are elevating. Now they have to kind of try to get on somewhat the same level all together as a team and play for 60. Okay, well, we know what the goal is. Okay, trying to get there. It's going to be a more difficult season, clearly. And they got to battle through a lot of stuff, especially the stuff that's in here. But I will say, okay, other teams have had success doing that in the last 10 years. Other teams who did make it to the playoffs. So that's the other thing that Jonathan Toews knows about. Trying to get to the playoffs and trying to then win the Stanley Cup. So the goal is not the Stanley Cup. That's not the goal. The goal is for them to play at the highest level they can together as one whole team for 60 minutes to get to the playoffs. Okay? Because playoff hockey is very different. Right? The goal is that. So we're still aiming for a goal here. I'm not, as big on, just let the guys, nah, let the young guys, not yet. Okay? And no, we're not going to get another goalie. This just isn't not going to happen. I mean, it's not even, shouldn't even let it bother you or sink in, because it's just not even feasible. And yes, Hellebuck will be back soon. But also Comrie now facing pressure that he wasn't facing before. I mean, you still got to, get a net. Whether you're the backup or not, you still have to get the net. You still have to be right at that level. But he's now feeling right? That kind of like I'm the starter, and heaven forbid, Hellebuck, not available in playoffs. Well, Connor would be more ready for playoffs at this point, don't you think? Okay. And also, then you have two goalies you can use because sometimes you change the goalie to give something the other team to adjust to and or to fire up your bench like you better respond. Okay? But if there's somebody actually walking around and the Winnipeg Jets, I don't care how long you've been doing it or what you think. Okay, screw their hurt feelings. Take it like grown men. If you got to sit somebody or whatever. Yeah, I'm all for bad skating them. I don't care. Like, whatever. We're going to, yeah, like, you get paid to play ice hockey. Oh, no. I totally am not at all for that. Okay, now I know if somebody's got some serious issue at home and, I mean, you know what I'm trying to say. Okay? Barring anything that's horrible and sad that might be happening in their lives that we don't know about. I'm talking about, like, hello, grown men getting paid to play pro ice hockey. Yeah. All right, you sit down. Well, you keep tripping over yourself, stepping on your dick, you dragging your line down. Nobody's been able to do that. You left the puck in the middle, set up the other team. You don't get to play ice hockey for this game. I'll see. Maybe next game you'll play. Yeah, we're not there yet. I'll ruffle feathers. Okay? So we're a win now team. Yes, let's win now. Okay? There are ways to slow down the other teams. There's a lot of ways to do it, but for this club, I know they know how. I know they know how. So, yeah, I have to get off of here so I can start listening to the pregame on 680 CJOB. And I'm going to say what I say. And when it comes to goaltending, yeah, I might keep coming to some people in chat and other places because I know this position better than billions of people on the planet. And it is an extremely difficult position for a lot of reasons, and particularly mentally, not just physically and athletically. And so I'm giving Eric Comrie some grace here because, he's got to elevate a little as he goes. You understand? But I know he remembers how to be the number one guy, and it's now he's got to trust his team because goalie trust. Okay, I know you got to trust your goalie. Well, the goalie got to trust the team. Okay, now don't fuck with that. Goalie got to trust the team not to leave the puck in the middle of the fucking ice where there's no Jets players to set up the other team for nice shots and highlight goals. Fellas. So we'll see what happens. I don't know about splitting that line, but at some point, yeah, the first line might have to. But I'm all for trying to let them together just rise up and start, because once they start, okay, and they really start feeling it, I think they'll be all right. But that has to happen. But they're running out of time. All right. Go Jets.